Hey guys, it's Willing Away, and welcome to part 2 of reading SCP Files. So in today's video, we're going to be reading from SCP 15 to SCP 20. From what I read, they're relatively short, nothing too long. I think the longest one's like 10 minutes. So yeah, having said that, I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe, it helps a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one. Please enjoy. Item number SCP-011. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. Item SCP-011 and the area surrounding it are to be cleaned once every day. For safety purposes, cleaning should start at least 30 minutes after sundown. Cleaning should always be performed by at least 2 personnel, who are also advised to know anything unusual about the item or the debris cleaned up. In a situation where the item cannot be cleaned for more than 2 days, local residents must be contacted and instructed not to approach the item. Containment Procedures Nullified 2004. Description: SCP-011 is a Civil War memorial statue located in Woodstock, Vermont. The statue is the image of a young male soldier holding a musket at his side and is carved out of granite quarried within the area. Occasionally, SCP-011 has been observed lifting its musket to the sky to fire at birds which attempt to land or defecate on it. Reports detail that its movements produce soft grinding sounds but do not cause it any structural failure. Oddly, the gunfire is very similar to that of a standard firearm, despite observations that the item only loads granite bullets and granite powder into the musket, which is also unharmed by the firing. In spite of its efforts, some fecal matter does manage to strike SCP-011, and it has reportedly become distressed when it has had a large amount of feces on it, on some rare occasions even firing at humans. Addendum: those assigned to maintain SCP-011 are to see Document 011-1 for instructions. Document 011-1 Maintenance Brief. Document archived 2004, accessible to personnel with security clearance 2011 or higher. Additional information: SCP-011's seeming sentience has increased since the first report of activity in 1995. As of 2004, the item's containment procedures have been dropped, but it remains under constant observation. Recorded below are landmark events and its activities. Timeline: March 12, 1995, Woodstock residents report the statue's eyes moving. First sign of activity. September 30th, 1995, statue shoots musket for the first time. October 9th, 1995, statue begins shooting birds from the sky. January 25th, 1996, registration as SCP-011, containment procedures begin. April 14th, 1997, SCP-011 observed moving casually and looking around. May 3rd, 2000, after caretaker redacted jokingly shouts, "Good shot," to SCP-011, the item replies, "Thank you," in a reportedly very human voice. First speech from statue. October 22nd, 2001, SCP-011 has conversation with caretaker redacted. 2001, shooting of the birds stops. February 6, 2002, at the imploring of redacted, SCP-011 steps down from its pedestal. 2003 to 2004, SCP-011 reaches a human level of self-awareness. November 10, 2004, containment procedures dropped, custody of SCP-011 transferred to redacted. May 17, 2005, redacted reports that SCP-011 is romantically attracted to her. August 29, 2006, most recent psych test reports an IQ of 133. Item number SCP-012. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-012 is to be kept in a darkened room at all times. If the object is exposed to light or seen by personnel using a light frequency other than infrared, remove personnel for mental health screening and immediate physical. Object is to be encased in an iron-shielded box, suspended from the ceiling with a minimum clearance of 2.5 meters or 8 feet from the floor, walls, and any openings. Description: SCP-012 was retrieved by archaeologist K.M. Sandoval during the excavation of a northern Italian tomb destroyed in a recent storm. The object, a piece of handwritten musical score entitled On Mount Golgotha, part of a larger set of sheet music, appears to be incomplete. The red, black ink, first thought to be some form of berry or natural dye ink, was later found to be human blood from multiple subjects. The first personnel to locate the sheet, Site 19, Special Salvage, had 2 members descend into insanity attempting to use their own blood to finish the composition, ultimately resulting in massive blood loss and internal trauma. Following initial investigations, multiple test subjects were allowed access to the score. In every case, the subjects mutilated themselves in order to use their own blood to finish the piece, resulting in subsequent symptoms of psychosis and massive trauma. Those subjects who managed to finish a section of the piece immediately committed suicide, declaring the piece to be impossible to complete. Attempts to perform the music have resulted in a disagreeable cacophony, with each instrumental part having no correlation or harmony with other instruments. Item number SCP-013. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-013 are to be kept in a secure storage vault at Site-66. Exposed subjects are to be monitored for differences between their symptoms. Exposed subjects are to be interviewed daily, and any changes in perception are to be logged. Description: SCP-013 is the collective designation of 242 cigarettes which display similar anomalies. The most common external detail between instances is the presence of the words "Blue Lady" handwritten on each cigarette in blue ink. Subjects who consume the contents of SCP-013 through inhalation will begin to perceive themselves as a specific unidentified woman. Subjects have described the woman to be aged between 25 and 35 years old, standing approximately 1.6 meters tall, with an estimated weight of between 50 and 55 kg. Additional recurring details include cropped dark hair, blue eyes, and bright blue lipstick. Immediately after consuming an instance of SCP-013, subjects will gradually begin to perceive reflections of themselves as having the features of the woman, and will gradually perceive their bodies changing to reflect her appearance over the course of the following weeks. All changes are entirely mental. The subject's body does not change outwardly, only their perception of themselves. These alterations are permanent and cannot be reversed. SCP-013 was discovered after the suicide of an Ian Miles, packed in a large cardboard crate in his apartment. A cursory search of the apartment uncovered several hundred sketches of a figure strongly resembling the one perceived while under 013's effect. Miles' body had been found sitting at a desk, dead of a massive overdose and draped over a handwritten note transcribed below. During the investigation of Miles' apartment, one civilian investigator became affected by 013's effects. An embedded agent soon contacted the nearest site. The subject, the artifact, and related evidence were extracted and contained. Currently, 217 instances of SCP-013 cigarettes are contained at Biosite-66. 25 SCP-013 cigarettes are contained at Research Sector 09, pending future research into similar anomalous effects. Addendum. Below is the note which was acquired along with SCP-013. I see her everywhere, that sad blue lady. I feel like I should know her, but I can't remember. I love her, but I don't know why. She's so beautiful and sweet and clear, but I don't know anymore. Her favorite flavor? Where did you go? I miss you. Item number SCP-014. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-014 is to be kept in Site redacted, in a chair with arms, preferably facing a window. Music should be supplied on a regular basis, preferably constantly. This music should not include pieces originating after 1937. A security camera should be present in SCP-014's room. Description: SCP-014 is a Caucasian male appearing to be approximately 30 years of age, with black hair, brown eyes, and a somewhat round face. Records indicate his name to be Robert Chetford, confined in 1915 to the Norwich Asylum in Connecticut for delusional insanity, claiming that he had been cursed to live forever and was slowly turning into concrete in consequence. The asylum closed in 1937, and the patients were transferred to various other facilities. SCP-014 came to Foundation attention in 19redacted from rumors of a patient who seemed to be entirely immobile and showed no signs of aging. Further investigation determined that accusation was warranted. SCP-014 is to all outward appearances a normal man, but he does not appear to age and shows no signs of possessing a metabolism. He does not eat, drink, perspire, or in any other way demonstrate life functions. He breathes only to speak, and apart from his eyes and vocal apparatus, is to all appearances utterly immobile. He has never shown any evidence of pressure ulcers, despite his position not having varied for several decades. Neither do his muscles appear to have atrophied. He can converse normally, but shows little knowledge of or interest in events since his confinement. Addendum. Note. Frankly, were I to interview this man without knowing his history, I think he was a perfectly sane and well-adjusted individual who happens to be quadriplegic. As it is, I have to conclude that he's the ultimate proof of the idea that the mind rules the body. He thinks he's concrete, and will live forever, and so he's as close to both as he can be. Somehow. Dr. Redacted. Item number, SCP-015, Object Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-015 is impossible to move and is contained on site. A gap of at least 2 meters or 6 feet needs to be maintained around the entire structure containing SCP-015 at all times, and no structures of any kind are to make contact with SCP-015's current containment structure. Exploration is permissible, but only in teams of 3 with full safety lines and GPS tracking. Any protrusions from SCP-015 must be capped and sealed immediately, with the new site recorded and logged. No aggressive action is to be made within SCP-015. No hand or power tools are allowed anywhere inside SCP-015. No repairs or maintenance are to be made anywhere on SCP-015. Description: SCP-015 is a mass of pipes, vents, boilers, and other various plumbing apparatuses, completely filling a warehouse in Redacted. The pipes appear to grow when not under observation, attempting to connect to nearby structures via sewer systems and underground plumbing. SCP-015 contains, at current estimate, over 190 kilometers, or 120 miles, of pipes, ranging in diameter from 2.5 centimeters to over 1 meter. Some pipes appear new, while others are rusted and leaking. Pipes have been reported as being made of bone, wood, steel, pressed ash, human flesh, glass, and granite. No pipes composed of lead, PVC, plastic, copper, or any other traditional material for the production of pipes have been found. SCP-015 reacts to tools and aggression. Any personnel acting violently, carrying tools, or attempting to damage or repair SCP-015 in any way will trigger a reaction. Any pipes near the subject will burst, spraying on the subject for several seconds before the flow suddenly stops. Pipes have been reported containing oil, mercury, rats, a species of insects not yet identified, ground glass, seawater, entrails, and molten iron. Pipes will continue to burst around the subject until death or retreat. SCP-015 was cut back to its current structure after attaching to 11 other structures in the area. Currently, 11 personnel have been killed, and 20 more are still missing. Reports have been made of banging and screaming coming from within SCP-015. Item number, SCP-016. Object Class, Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-016 is to remain within the confines of a 5 by 5 by 5 meter room at all times, maintained at a temperature not to exceed 0 degrees Celsius. SCP-016 itself is to remain in the Petri dish in the containment cube at all times, unless directed otherwise by Level 4 or O5 personnel. Full documentation of experimentation with SCP-016 must be submitted before and after samples and duplicates of SCP-016 may be taken. Failure to follow these procedures will result in termination or reassignment as Class D personnel. Only authorized personnel may be permitted to obtain samples of and experiment with SCP-016 under BC-L5 containment conditions. If an outbreak does occur despite following the aforementioned procedures, directive-based personnel are to implement a Code Sigma lockdown and containment plan. Infected personnel are to be terminated on-site by security forces wearing standard mission-oriented protective posture, MOPP, anti-biological and anti-chemical equipment. Should the infection not be contained after 48 hours, the on-site nuclear device is to be detonated. Remaining personnel are not to be evacuated under any circumstances. SCP-016 has been shown to survive for up to 6 hours on hard surfaces and up to several minutes in air. High-intensity ultraviolet light and high concentrations of orthoformaldehyde solution have been demonstrated to be effective in disinfecting non-organic surfaces. Description: SCP-016 is a blood-borne pathogen recovered from a mine worker in Redacted, who injured himself while working in a deep coal seam. Said wound became contaminated with coal dust from the mine, possibly infecting the worker with dormant spores. Over the next several days, SCP-016 proceeded to infect the remaining employees at the mining camp, as well as the CDC crisis team dispatched to deal with the epidemic. Foundation personnel then took over the investigation and terminated all affected personnel. Patient 0 was brought into captivity, and the mine shaft was collapsed by an explosive device. SCP-016 has an incubation period ranging from 24 hours to 2 years, depending on the presence and number of other human hosts in the area. First symptoms resemble the common cold and include itchy eyes, runny nose, coughing, and bodily aches. Phase 2 begins in 48 hours and consists of a controlled form of hemorrhagic fever, as the organism causes a small amount of blood to become aspirated in the lungs, creating an aerosol effect. During Phase 3, the host crashes and bleeds out, bleeding profusely from every bodily orifice, including the nose, tear ducts, anus, skin pores, mouth, urethra, and, in case of females, vagina. Blood pressure skyrockets during the final stage. Hosts have been observed projectile vomiting blood to distances of over 5 meters. Should the host survive this near-total exsanguination, the pathogen will become dormant once more, returning to incubation phase. What distinguishes SCP-016 from other strains of hemorrhagic fever, such as Ebola and Marburg, is its unusual response to high stress. Should the subject undergo a high-stress situation, such as a life-threatening crisis, the organism will change its survival tactic from rapid reproduction to the rewriting of the host DNA and stimulation of rapid cell division. Major physiological changes occur within the first 24 hours, with complete bodily reconstruction occurring within 2 weeks' time. Most hosts do not survive the process due to the heavy demands made on the body. An interesting side effect of the transformation is an increased aggressive urge. It is believed that this may be an attempt to maximize the spread of the virus in a manner similar to rabies. On another note, subjects who undergo bodily transformation no longer appear to exhibit SCP-016's hemorrhagic properties. However, subjects infected by transformed hosts will still undergo the normal SCP-016 infection process. Addendum: Experiment log of SCP-016's transformative properties. Subject D-0161, D-Class personnel infected by SCP-016. Upon first showing symptoms, subject's quarters were slowly flooded with water over a 24-hour period. SCP-016 mutated into a teratomorphic state, transforming subject's lungs into gills. Subject survived for 2 more weeks as SCP-016 transformed its limbs into fins, caused its eyes to atrophy, and enhanced its sense of hearing into a cetacean-type echolocation ability. Subject was terminated by draining all water from its quarters, causing it to asphyxiate. Body was subsequently cremated without autopsy. Subject D-0162, D-Class personnel infected by SCP-016. Upon first showing symptoms, subject's quarters were slowly flooded with water over a 24-hour period. SCP-016 mutated into a teratomorphic state, causing subject to undergo rapid muscular growth and increased bone growth on knuckles. Subject then attempted to escape from confinement by punching through the reinforced steel door. Subject was not successful and died by drowning. Note: same situation, 2 different responses. Interesting. Dr. Redacted. Subject D-0163, D-Class personnel infected by SCP-016. Subject was previously a chemical engineer who poisoned his wife upon discovering her adultery. Upon first showing symptoms, subject's quarters were slowly flooded with water over a 24-hour period. SCP-016 mutated into a teratomorphic state, causing subject to grow an unusual organ on his chest, consisting of a chamber and 2 separate tubes. Organ continued to take in water and swell in size until Foundation personnel, realizing what SCP-016 may be attempting, terminated the subject by gunshot. Organ was found to contain several gas sacs filled with acetylene gas and oxygen. Subject D-0164, D-Class personnel infected by SCP-016. Subject was told to concentrate on forming wings. No stress was applied. SCP-016 did not mutate into teratomorphic state. Subject died of exsanguination during Phase 3. Subject D-0165, D-Class personnel infected by SCP-016. Subject was told to concentrate on forming wings and placed in an acrylic box suspended 305 meters above a mine shaft. Timer was placed outside the box, which subject was told indicated the time to release. SCP-016 mutated into a teratomorphic state, causing subject to grow a tentacle-like organ on his left wrist similar to a spider's spinnerets. Subject extended said organ through one of the box's air holes and extruded a strong, silk-like substance, which it then used to secure the box to the cable. Subject was terminated when the countdown reached 0 and the bomb detonated. Footnotes. Due to their similarities as fatal contagions that stimulate the production of excessive organs, a possible link to SCP-1801 is under investigation. Item number SCP-017, Object Class Keter, Special Containment Procedures. SCP-017 is contained in an acrylic glass cage 100 cm by 50 cm by 50 cm, centrally suspended in a concrete room measuring 6 m by 6 m by 4 m. Attached to the walls, ceiling, and floor of the room are high-intensity arc lamp spotlights pointed directly at the acrylic cage to ensure that SCP-017 is constantly exposed to light from every angle. Personnel assigned to the SCP-017 control room are to monitor the functionality of the spotlights and the emergency generator system and call for maintenance immediately upon knowledge of a burnt-out lamp or an issue with the generator. The only circumstance under which personnel are allowed entrance is to replace lamps. Personnel entering the room are required to wear the designated full-body reflective suits and must be cautioned not to step in front of the functional spotlights. Description: SCP-017 is a humanoid figure approximately 80 centimeters in height, anatomically similar to a small child, but with no discernible identifying features. SCP-017 seems to be composed of a shadowy smoke-like shroud. No attempt to find any object beneath the shroud has been successful, but the possibility has not been ruled out. SCP-017's reaction to shadows cast upon it is immediate and swift. SCP-017 leaps at the object casting the shadow and completely encloses it in its shroud, whereupon it returns to its normal size, leaving no trace of the object behind. Additional notes. Personnel with beta clearance or higher should see also document 0171. Item number SCP-018. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-018 is to be contained in its specialty metal restraint inside of a 1 m by 1 m by 1 m sealed box lined with heavy synthetic padding. The sealed box is then submerged in the center of the 10 m by 10 m by 10 m polyethylene holding tank. If SCP-018 is to break free from the holding box, the polyethylene-based goo will slow down kinetic activity enough for proper retrieval by containment personnel. Personnel entering SCP-018's holding chamber are to wear specialized plating found inside of SCP-018 observation and a breathing apparatus before being lowered into the polyethylene tank. If SCP-018 is loose outside of the polyethylene tank, personnel are advised to secure themselves in a separate room and close doorways or hatches to isolate SCP-018 until containment team arrives. Description: SCP-018 has the appearance of a super ball made by the Wham-O Company in 1969. It is 6 centimeters in diameter and colored red, found when the Redacted Company was hired to clean out a warehouse that had Wham-O merchandise in it. SCP-018 was noted to be able to bounce with extreme height. At first thought to be a pleasant child's toy, SCP-018 was able to bounce with over 200% efficiency, that is, if dropped 1 meter. It would bounce 2, then 4, then 8, then 16. The ball soon became a dangerous projectile, reaching speeds estimated at over 100 kilometers an hour, and damaging property and injuring 5 in the city of Redacted. It came to a rest after several days in the nearby lake of Redacted and was retrieved by SCP personnel. Due to the speed of the object and the total surprise by its victims, no cover-up story was required or initiated. Document number 01804, Message to O5 Redacted. Redacted. I hope everything is well. The reason I write to you is because I believe I have found a more effective method for retrieving new or escaped SCP objects. Yes, I realize we haven't had any progress in reverse engineering whatever allows this thing to defy the laws of thermodynamics, but we have come up with a very effective method for integrating one of those new SCP-A5 armor suits with this. Just hear me out. We implant it into the bottom of a boot, rig up a little bit of a mechanical device, and ta-da! The suit is now capable of jumping well over a building. Also, if the wearer has their foot against something they want dead, well, let's just say it delivers a hell of a kick. All I need is permission to modify one of the pre-existing SCP-A5 suits, and you'll be able to actually capture Redacted. Plus, any other escaped SCP objects. Trust me, when have I let you down in the past? Dr. Redacted. Document number 01806. Letter to Dr. Redacted. Dr. Redacted. Upon assignment, Agent Redacted was issued your modified SCP-A5 armor in retrieving SCP Redacted, and the results are mixed. Agent Redacted was able to place the redacted collar onto SCP Redacted, chase it through the Amazon, and restrain it by dismemberment. However, due to a malfunction of your little mechanical device, he was launched almost a mile into the air and suffered 2 broken legs, 7 broken ribs, a missing arm, and a skull fracture upon hitting the water of Lake Redacted on the way back down. You will fix that before I authorize your armor for common use. Document number 01811. Message to O5 Redacted. Redacted. Don't worry, it's fixed, but I have some more ideas. If I can be granted the use of some water from SCP-006, SCP Redacted, and possibly SCP Redacted, I can deliver you a set of SCP-A5 armor and an agent that can capture any, if not all, rogue or unattained SCPs. All I'm waiting on is your approval. Item number, SCP-019. Object Class, Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-019 is to be kept on a wide grate in a 3 meter x 3 meter x 4 meter reinforced concrete room installed with the incinerator. Room is to be kept at 0 degrees Celsius when incinerator is not activated. An observation chamber separated by a plate glass window is to be used for constant observation of SCP-019, and if or when specimens of SCP-0192 are observed, the incinerator is to be activated. In the event of an outbreak of SCP-0192, ordinary firearms are successful in terminating individual specimens, although in the case of a swarm-level outbreak, flamethrowers may be more effective. SCP-019 should be kept in a vertical position at all times. Description: SCP-019 appears to be a very large ceramic vase, 1.8 meters in diameter at the mouth and 2.4 meter high. Style and decoration indicate it was created in classical Greece, although conclusive dating is impossible, as the surface is entirely unbreakable by any known means. If a successful method is discovered, SCP-019 is to be destroyed with prejudice. Periodically, entities emerge from SCP-019. Collectively, these are known as SCP-0192. The entities vary in many aspects, but tend to be small, vaguely humanoid, though they may have animaloid features, and extremely hostile. They often choose to attack with teeth or claws, although fairly delicate, also surprisingly flammable. They are reasonably strong and pose a considerable threat in large numbers. When kept at 0 degrees Celsius and totally at rest, entities will emerge from SCP-019 at a rate of approximately 1 entity per hour. The following traits are known to affect SCP-0192's manifestation rate: movement of SCP-019, threat to SCP-019, extreme temperature highs and lows, sudden shift in surrounding environment, introduction of objects or organisms to the inside of SCP-019 known to cause a flood reaction, traits that may or may not influence SCP-0192's manifestation rate, presence of human life near SCP-019, current weather patterns, specific individuals near SCP-019. Some individuals seem to affect SCP-0192's emergence rate more drastically than others. In addition, tipping or tilting SCP-019 will create a reaction as though it was previously filled with SCP-0192 specimen. Although viewers looking into SCP-019 from above will merely observe a dark hole. Due to the production rates of SCP-0192, when the object is disturbed, measurement of the internal cavity is difficult, but it is suspected to be inconsistent with outside measurements. Addendum: Document SCP-0192-A. SCP-0192 notes, as maintained by Dr. Light and Dr. Vaux. Redacted. SCP-0192 specimen was removed from containment chamber and kept in reinforced pen, provided with water and live chickens as food. Specimen made quiet, continuous garbled vocalizations determined to be phonetically similar to ancient Hellenic languages. Although the reason for this is unknown, specimens are still thought to be no more intelligent than animals. The specimen lived for less than 48 hours, and a dissection revealed anatomy consistent of a cellular level with normal biology, but with an extremely unstable musculoskeletal structure. Other notable anomalies included an unstable respiratory system, nearly non-existent digestive tract, and virtually no other internal organs. All other captured specimens have followed similar patterns of behavior and demise. Note: it appears that SCP-0192 specimens were not intended to live for meaningful amounts of time outside of SCP-019. Dr. Vaux. Redacted. Containment unit was slightly damaged following prolonged exposure to SCP-0192 specimen, missed by the monitoring team because of partial transparency. This has not been noted in SCP-0192 before. Monitoring teams will continue to report further anomalies. Redacted. Monitoring teams report some specimens of SCP-0192 now appear to be significantly more resistant to incineration than others. It is hypothesized that this is a defense mechanism on the part of SCP-019. Redacted. Most specimens of SCP-0192 are now all but entirely resistant to the effects of the incinerator. Replacement of incinerator with an acid bath is being considered. Evolution of SCP-0192 is being studied, and may be evidence of sentience in SCP-019. Item Number SCP-020. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Samples of SCP-020 are stored in a series of sealed cultivation chambers inside a sealed containment room at Biological Research Area 12, which is accessible only via airlock. Nutrients are administered via automated robotic systems, as the cultivation chamber must remain sealed at all times. Hermetically sealed video surveillance cameras are installed within the containment room and must be checked daily for integrity. Any personnel entering the containment room must wear Biosafety Level 5 equipment, including rebreathers, and undergo full antifungal disinfection upon exiting. Description: SCP-020 is a fast-spreading fungal organism that is capable of affecting the senses and behavior of living creatures, including humans. Samples of SCP-020 exhibit an unknown effect that renders them effectively invisible to direct observation, even when under a microscope. SCP-020 is only visible to humans when viewed through photographic or video surveillance. Once SCP-020 forms a colony, usually within a human residence, it will produce spores that affect the behavior of humans around it. Affected subjects will increase the heat and humidity within their homes to create an environment more suitable to the growth of SCP-020. Affected subjects also become more sociable in many cases and often invite acquaintances to their homes to further spread the organism. As the spores and mold colonies are invisible to affected subjects, the mold may sometimes grow directly on living subjects. As the spores and colonies within a home approach critical concentration, the health of affected human subjects will rapidly deteriorate, resulting in death. Further spread of the mold may occur as the bodies of any deceased subjects are encountered by emergency responders and healthcare agents, as well as transportation of the bodies to local morgues. SCP-020 was first encountered in Redacted, where an undercover SCP agent noted dramatic personality changes in personnel working at the local hospital. Upon investigation by a containment team, it was discovered that almost Redacted civilians had been infected, as well as a majority of the town. The civilian population was terminated and the town incinerated under cover of a local flash forest fire. To date, over 12 outbreaks of SCP-020 have been reported. Investigations are currently underway to determine the source of these outbreaks and possible preventative measures. Addendum 02001, excerpts from the audio or video mission recorders of Mobile Task Force ETA-10, See No Evil, during the initial containment of SCP-020 on Redacted. T2 Lead. Team 2 moving to the Red House. T2 Comm. Copy. UAV 1 is picking up 1 heat signature. T2 Lead. Team 2 in place, ready to be expletive. T2-2. Door opening. At this point, a civilian woman appeared in the doorway holding a kitchen knife. Video surveillance showed that nearly 2/3 of her face was covered by mold growths. Civilian woman. Well, hello there, gentlemen. Care to take a breather inside? T2 Lead. On the ground, drop the weapon. Civilian woman. Don't be silly, come on in and stay a while. T2 Lead. Stop where you are. Drop the weapon. Civilian woman. We just want to have some guests. Please, come in. T2-2. Drop the expletive weapon. It is assumed that at this point the infected civilian noticed the T2-4 carrying a primid incendiary weapon and lunged forward at the team members with the knife. Civilian woman. Data expunged. T2 Lead. Open fire. Open fire. Gunfire and screaming. Hey guys, it's Willow again. If you've reached this, congrats, you finished the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was good. Obviously, if there's anything I need to fix or any recommendations you guys would like to give, just put them down in the comments. I read all my comments. And yeah, if you guys liked it and enjoyed it, please remember to like and subscribe. Yet again, it helps a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye-bye.